Welcome back to AI and Digital Skills Hub. In this episode, we're diving into operators and expressions in Python, the building blocks of every smart program you'll ever write. Think of operators as the tools Python uses to perform tasks like calculations, comparisons, and logic, while expressions are the combinations that produce results. Let's get started with some live coding. Let's begin with arithmetic operators, the ones that help us do math in code. Here, I'm creating two variables, a equals 10 and b equals 3. We'll use them to test out different arithmetic operators. This line prints the sum of a and b. The plus symbol adds them together, so 10 plus 3 gives 13. The minus sign performs subtraction. It takes b away from a, giving 7. The star by is for multiplication. 10 times 3 equals 30. A single slash performs normal division. It gives a decimal result like 3,333. The double slash diagonal floor division. It chops off the decimal and returns only the whole number. The %% gives us the remainder after division. When you divide 10 by 3, the remainder is 1 and represents exponentiation. It raises a to the power of b, so 10 raised to the third power equals 1000. These operators are simple but extremely powerful, and you'll use them in almost every Python project you build. Now, let's check out comparison operators. They compare two values and return either true or false. These lines check different relationships between a and b, greater than, less than, equal to, not equal to, and the combined greater or equal or less or equal. They're essential for making decisions in your programs, like checking conditions or validating user input. Next are logical operators, and they let us combine multiple conditions. I've set x to true and y to false. The AND operator only returns true if both sides are true. The OR operator returns true if either one is true, and not simply flips the value. So not x becomes false. These are the logic gates of Python. Assignment operators make updating variable values cleaner. Here, I'm assigning num to 5. Then I use +3. That means take the old value of num and add 3 to it. It's a shortcut for num, just num plus 3, and the new value becomes 8. You can do the same with guk and others. They're handy for loops and counters. Now, let's combine a few operations into one expression. This line adds parentheses to group operations. Python follows the order of operations, just like math. So it adds and subtracts first, then multiplies the results. That's the power of expressions. So, we've explored arithmetic, comparison, logical, and assignment operators, and learned how expressions combine them to form logic inside our programs. You're now thinking like a real Python developer. Now let's bring everything together with 3 unique, real-world mini projects that go beyond the typical calculator. All right, let's start with our first mini project, a simple but smart one called Coin Splitter. This helps us figure out how many coins we need to make a certain amount of money. We'll begin by printing a title, just to keep things organized. Now I'm asking the user for the total amount they have in Kenyan shillings. I'm using int, because we want a whole number. Next, we'll ask for the coin denomination, maybe 5 shillings, 10 shillings, or any other coin. Here's where the math begins. The boss operator does floor division. It tells us how many full coins we can make from the total. And % gives us the remainder. What's left over after making those full coins? Finally, we print the result nicely formatted. This little script combines arithmetic and modulus, a perfect example of back-end thinking, splitting data into usable pieces. Let's move to our second mini project, Performance Rating System. This one introduces comparison and logical operators to categorize data, just like real evaluation systems do. We'll start with a clear section title again. Then, we ask the user to input their performance score, between 0 and 100. If the score is 85 or more, the rating should be excellent. Otherwise, if it's 70 or above, we'll call it good. If the score is at least 50, that's average performance. Anything below that needs improvement. Finally, we print the rating. What's happening here is logical evaluation. Python checks each condition one by one, and the first true condition decides the output. This is exactly how grading systems, HR evaluations, or review dashboards work behind the scenes. Finally, let's build our third project, Electricity Bill Estimator. This one mixes arithmetic, assignment, and conditionals, just like real billing systems. We'll start with a heading again. The user will enter how many units of electricity they've used. I'm using float because this value can be a decimal. Here's our cost per unit, which we'll keep fixed for now. Next, we multiply the units by the rate to get the total bill amount. And here's a little business logic. If the bill exceeds 1,000 shillings, the user gets a 5% discount. I'm using Rionwaras to reassign the discounted value to the same variable. Finally, we print the total nicely formatted with 2 decimal places. This brings together everything we've learned. Assignment, arithmetic, and conditions, all working together to solve a practical problem. That's back-end logic in action, taking inputs, processing data, applying rules, and producing meaningful output. So there you have it. Operators and expressions made simple. You've learned how to calculate, compare, and combine logic, the real intelligence behind every Python program. If you enjoyed coding with me, hit the like button, subscribe to AI and Digital Skills Hub, and comment below. Episode 3 completed. In Episode 4, we'll take things further. Learning control flow and conditional statements, where our programs start making real decisions. Keep coding, keep experimenting, and I'll see you in the next one.